Hi, my name is Helen O'Connor and welcome to my studio. Today we're going to talk about the 5 top tips for a successful business. These really are the foundations on which businesses, including my own, are based on. Many will know that I have been around the block a few years, overcoming many things and always bouncing back. And these 5 top tips for a successful business is the essence of what keeps me going. And as you'll hear, they're the foundations of any business. Even before your visionary board and before your business plan. Once you get these 5 business tips right, then you're assured of success. So let's get started, shall we? One is passion. Quite tempting sometimes to look how successful somebody else is and then think to yourself, I could do that. But you're not passionate about it, you just see what they're getting from it, whether it be enjoyment or even the financial gains. But it's not your passion, and you really need passion for a fundamental successful business. So wherever that passion comes from, whether it's walking dogs, whether it's taking care of animals, jewellery making, sewing, making bags, clothes, baking cake, or you're good with numbers and you want to be a bookkeeper, or even looking after children. It doesn't matter what your business is. Doesn't matter what your business is, because all the fundamental 5 tips to success will be the same. Why passion? When you've got passion for something that you do, that that maybe you've worked for, maybe you've had a little side hustle while working full time, maybe it's been a hobby, maybe just an idea that keeps coming back time and time again, and you've built up this real passion for it over the years but never even told anyone. That's the type of business that will become successful in 3D reality. We think it, we dream it, we often analyze it, but once we bring it into the 3D world, your passion is what's going to drive your business forward. There's going to be lots of dips and troughs and merry-go-rounds along the way. And it's the passion that will drive you to create resilience. And once you have resilience and you've been along that path and knocked a few things out of the way, once you get to the end, that's when you realise you're thriving. So passion breeds resilience and helps you to thrive. Passion is a great place to start. Tip number 2 is inspiration. When you are a business, especially when you're a solo entrepreneur, you need to have a flow of inspiration. How often do you hear people say, I've got a block? Or you hear somebody say, I've lost my mojo. You can't have that with a successful business. Later on, when you have, a team of people and they come up with the inspiration, that's fine. But when you are the solo entrepreneur, when you have to be everything to everyone, you need a constant flow of inspiration. For me, being a jewellery artist, I need a constant flow of designs, ideas, and I need to know where they come from. So the key to finding inspiration and allowing it to keep flowing, that energy to keep flowing to you, is to first of all make a note of where inspiration finds you. Do you have magic come to you when you're in the gym? Is it when you're walking through nature or lying in a field of grass? Maybe it's hugging a tree or walking through the woodlands, sitting by a stream, stroking a dog, or just being around animals. Maybe you go to bed at night and you wake up with those designs in your head. Wherever they come from, make a mental note. And there will be more than one place that you will find, that inspiration will find you. For instance, mine is usually in the shower. It's okay, I'm not going to do my Wim Hof impression, I won't put you through all that. But it does, it finds me in the shower. And I made a mental note to think, yes, when I have a shower, not always, but quite often, ideas start flowing to me in designs. Meditating of a morning, you know, in the calm space. My biggest inspiration, where I feel the most energy, is when I'm walking the beaches alongside the sea. So can you see, once you find the key to finding inspiration or allowing inspiration to find you, once you know at least 3 areas, you'll never have blockages and you'll never lose your mojo, because you know where to go, where to find those elusive ideas, those elusive designs. They're there, they flow to you easily. So that is number 2. Tip number 3. Tip number 3 is having a mentor. And I don't really mean the type of mentor where you can ring them up or go and see. I have a mentor with Business Wales, and although they are absolutely great, the type of mentor that drives me is actually somebody who's already doing it, has already pushed through all those barriers and is successful at what they do. Such as many people look at Stephen Bartlett. Or in the crafting industry, we have our Sarah Davies. In the jewellery industry, we have the likes of Andrew Berry and Jessica Rose. All these people have built their businesses, and we can now aspire to what they have achieved. So as well as those mentors, those idols that I've just mentioned, I have one in particular that seems to fit my ethos, fit what I do, which is jewellery artist. And when you find that person, even though I've never met her, I follow her quite vigorously because she gives so much. And that person is Kendra Scott. So Kendra Scott started her jewellery business. She had a box, a wooden box, and in that box were stretchy bracelets and necklaces. And she took that box and she went store to store, knocking on doors, ringing bells. She even had a young child with her. And at every point she was getting a no, or a no thank you, or not today, or come back another time. She knew, she had that passion, she knew what she wanted to do. She kept on going. She had that resilience to keep on going, knowing that one day one of those doors would open, and open they did indeed. Now, like many creatives, she did go off on a bit of a tangent. And she'll tell you in her stories. She opened a millinery store for hats. Something that I've actually looked at, funny thing, but her passion always brought her back to the jewellery. No longer wanting to sell her jewellery wholesale, she opened her first shop. And listen to this. Kendra Scott has now over 138 stores. Yeah, 138 jewellery stores. She has approximately over 2,000 people working for her, and Kendra Scott is ranked on the Forbes richest list, number 47, with an estimated 550 million from her jewellery stores. And when I recently looked into the Kendra Scott world, she's actually now the status of a billionaire. All from a little wooden box with a few pieces of jewellery in. So whatever you're aspiring to be with your business, mentors are a good source of knowledge and experience that you can tap into. Finding your mentor is tip number 3. So tip number 4 is personal growth. Never stop learning. Always keep being inquisitive and finding out new techniques or just improving your business skills. Investing in workshops or tutorials, or investing time by watching YouTube and following your mentors, your idols, such as Stephen Bartlett and the CEO Diaries, or buying books. This one's by Jessica Rose and it's perfect. I mean, it's very dog-eared now because I use it a lot. You will always find whoever or whatever you are aspiring to be. There's plenty of resources out there, and that is when you create personal growth in your business. And let's face it, you know, these days businesses change all the time. Whether you are selling in person, whether you are selling online, there's so many different avenues to go down, and there's so much to learn, from TikTok to Facebook to YouTube. There's so much out there that we can embrace. And so joining business groups is another great idea for personal growth. I'm a Patreon of Emily Harvey and her business ideas are fantastic. And there's a lot of other business groups out there. As well as reading Jessica's book, I've been on her business boot camp, I think about 5 times. Yeah, and each time I pick up and get and learn something new, something different. I never stop striving for personal growth. So that's tip number 4. And that brings me to tip number 5. And I do think that to build any successful business, you need to create the life you love. And if you have any other tips for a successful business, please comment below. So before you hit those visionary boards and those business plans, I hope you found these 5 tips useful in getting you started with your successful business. If you like my content, please subscribe and like. So one more time, my top number 5 tip is create the life you love.